Been here in a while, and you all turn that off, busy. I haven't been here in a while, and you're all talking about why I'm on UNIRock 2 instead of the Rock a Lot. Well, we need to start separating these streams. We need to have a replay on UNIRock 2 for what the content, because we've been doing content on Rock a Lot, and then go there for the after show. But don't worry, I'll still be chilling on the after show before we do anything like, you know, gaming and stuff like that. So come to the after show for the live chat and those types of things. It's on the YouTube channel Rock a Lot. But there's some big updates and there's some stale drama. And people who are not subscribed to the Rock a Lot channel have been asking me my opinion on this. And they don't want to go to the Rock a Lot, or they don't know about Rock a Lot there. I've been streaming on it because I've been chilling a lot since the, how do you say this without getting demonetized, quarantine. And there are some updates, and I'm going to show you some videos while I talk about them because they're funny. And they're a little bit metaphoric. These are some metaphoric videos. Oh gosh, we're in for a long stream, peeps, says MD. Maybe if I can get connected to YouTube. Can you please connect me, YouTube? Do you mind connecting me? Can I get a green signal? I'm sending a lot of data. It'd be nice. I have this problem on UNIRock 2 that I don't have on the Rock a Lot anymore. It's crazy. So anyway, you've heard of the channel Sharrell's World. You've heard of the channel Without a Crystal Ball. Have you heard about the drama that's happening? Well, you probably have. Now that it's being drudged up into everybody's face and announced as the next big shocking thing that's going to happen. But I've been putting out a request lately, and my request is that we have some evidence of the promised database of evidence. So I'm going to come here and try to do a more concise and to the point rebuttal, response, or whatever you want to call it, to Sharrell's World, to Katie Joy Paulson, to the other people out there who are accusing me of clickbaiting their name for money. That just doesn't hold. It just doesn't hold. It's like a Jeep trying to get off the beach after putting their boat in the sand and not being able to move. It just doesn't hold up. It doesn't work. It keeps sinking in the sand. I've got a whole bunch of these videos we can look at while we chill, though. I was going to make them into a video, but I don't feel like editing it. Let me give you the background of the story. Let's talk about who Shirelle... wait. I did my homework. Let's talk about who Sharrell's World is. Looks like she used to do reviews. Is this the right channel? Am I at the right? Yeah, this is the right channel. Weird. So let's talk about who Sharrell's World is. Let's talk about who Without a Crystal Ball is. You don't need me to tell you who she is, right? The most controversial 70,000 subscriber YouTuber that's ever existed in the world. I'm just kidding. Is what it seems like, though. And there are so many claims. There are so many alleged thingies. There's so much to talk about. And there is another thing that I've been given, which is an update from Katie. And she now has enough warranted, provable stuff that we're going to get another lawsuit. Can we get a sound effect at all, Busy? Are you off tonight? Oh, hanging out with your mother. What do you call your mother? You're a piece of bread, so she's a ball of yeast. Your mom's a ball of... That does not make sense. And it's not clever. He's not clever. Can I get a sound effect, though, please? We're going to have another lawsuit here on YouTube that will probably last forever. Too much, Busy. 3 of them were too much. We're going to have another YouTube lawsuit involving none other than who I call the Silverfish, the Silver Simp. We have the non sequitur lawsuit that hasn't ended yet. Now we're going to have the Katie Joy versus Steve McRae lawsuit. I can't say anything more. I don't know anything more, so I can't say anything more. But it's happening. I've confirmed that it's happening. That is what I can say. Literally, the only other thing I can say about the fact that Steve is going to be engaging in 2 lawsuits now instead of 1 is this. That tomorrow, as soon as tomorrow, they are hoping that they can file. So maybe it won't be tomorrow. And of course, with the courts backlogged and other things going on around the word that I don't like saying because I'll get quarantined, you know what I'm saying? We might have a delay for it, but at least I can tell you the claim, because that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the claim. But even more than that, I'm going to do a big old show. I'm just kidding. I'm probably not, but I'm going to try. I'm going to talk to you about what is the difference between a claim and evidence. What's the difference between something that's proven and something that's claimed? And is that the same thing as an opinion? Is it the same thing as a fact? These are all things we learned in 5th grade or even before. We should have learned it when we learned to talk. And we have to talk about it now because this is just going out of control. I haven't even told you on this channel yet about Nate Brody being... Did Nate Brody do a... we're here for this, Uni. Why, thank you, MD. If you can't talk in the live chat, by the way, I had a mod go rogue on me and block a few people. If you are watching and you're like, I can't talk in the chat, do me a solid. Just let the mods know. So log in on another account, or if you are in a Discord and you know someone else who can come into the... Tell the chat the name that needs unbanned. Hook us up. We want to unban you. You shouldn't be banned, though. I am banned like everybody, pretty much. Because the bans go in like order of when they're banned. So I got most everybody unbanned. If I missed you, though, I want to unban you. Tell me. So where are we with this story? You guys know because I put it out. This, of course, was the infamous Versus Mode Part 2 video that showed the evidence that Katie didn't strike a channel, and that a lot of the hate towards Katie is not based around fact. It's based around opinion, right? Let me give you an example. So when you have the proof that she didn't strike anybody, but yet you have people that scream it from the rooftops and say you should hate her for it, and how do you reconcile that is still being used against her now? And then when you look at the other problems people have with her that seem minor, like she fired a mod or she did this, the whole point is, why is there so much hate towards Katie Joy Paulson that, when logically analyzed, seems to get broken down into more opinion while it's being treated as if it's criminal, as if it's existential threat stuff and all this? And that shouldn't be talked about. We shouldn't be here on UNIRock 2 talking about this right now, because it's, as the title says, or as the thumbnail says, it's stale content. It's very, very repetitious and stale. Well, the reason we have to talk about it is because Shirelle, that's not Shirelle, that's Twitch deleting the simp emote. I wanted to tell you about that later. Shirelle has 200,000 subs, 189,000 subs. According to her Social Blade data, though, she will be at 200,000 subs probably in a week or two. So we'll just go ahead and say that Shirelle has 200,000 subs, and she has announced a series to expose the YouTube beef between 2 YouTubers. And while part of me, one section of my brainstem says that I think it's great if somebody documents this, as I did back in November and December, and puts more light on the subject, shows people what's there, lets them make up their own mind, yada, 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 yada. The other side of me says this is going to be bad because the announcement, the way this was announced, was a little bit shocking. Now, we already looked at this on the Rock-A-Lot channel, so I don't think I'm going to pull the video. I could just tell you that yesterday I pulled up the announcement video and watched it on a live stream on Rock-A-Lot. I know I haven't been on UNIRock too much, but you know I streamed here every day for years, and I just assaulted this channel with nothing but constant live streams. So we need to warm up the streaming engine of the channel and get back to streaming. So anyway, what about the announcement from Shirelle led me to believe that it may not be that, let's say, fair of a video that's coming? Because she said that she has a database of evidence, an entire database that is shocking. And of course, we're just watching a trailer. We're just watching what is called the trailer for this announcement of this series. So we're expecting to get at least a teaser of something, right? I mean, if you want people to watch your thingy that's coming up, or what, you know, I mean, this new series, if you want people to watch it, and you say to everybody that you've got this database of evidence, of course, you think you could dangle one or two little things in front of us, like, you know, the whole fishing pole with a carrot on the end of it that you put in front of a horse to make the horse run for the carrot, right? Something. Give us something so that we know we're not just going to click and see a gossip video. And you're going to say, but why would you expect that when she just said she had a database full of evidence? Well, one, it's not hard to show one piece of your evidence, but two, in her about section of her video, and her channel is known to be a drama or gossip channel. Now, she has no problem letting you know that, putting it in her about section. A lot of people look down upon gossip. They look down upon drama, and there's really no reason to think that's what's being said here, because I cover drama myself. I cover YouTube beef myself, and I've done it for a long time. That's what the Versus Mode playlist was, one of my older playlists that I hadn't updated in a while until this story back in November or December. Either way, though, it's really weird to see it dragged up now. And even I'm being dragged into it due to me covering it back then, due to me responding to the new series on my random after show live stream this week. I'm also being dragged into this, which I don't mind at all. Hell, you know, there's not a lot going on, and I've been chilling and just doing my thing and having a great time. Like the streams over on Rock-A-Lot are popping off if you're not over there to hang. So I can't believe how many people come hang out. We've only got like 1,000 subs on Rock-A-Lot, and we'll have 40, 30, 50% of the subscriber base hanging out watching. 300, 200, 400 people, 500 people. So come hang out at Rock-A-Lot with us. We miss you if we haven't seen you. Either way, let's see here. Another point that I want to make about Sharrell's world, attacking Katie. Okay, doing a video series that is chocked full of a database of proven evidence against Katie Joy without showing us a single little bit of that evidence first. One interesting point, Sharrell does really good on YouTube. Right? We're talking 180,000, 130,000, 140,000. These are daily views. She literally is popping off. What this means, you may look at her channel and she might get 9,000, 10,000, 30,000 on her daily video. So you subtract the daily amount that you can see that she got on her new video from this amount to get the amount of views from older videos her channel is pulling in. That is called algorithmic views, right? These are views that are coming from the algorithm, older videos, right? She's doing really good. She rich and famous, y'all. I'm not even playing. She's making a fat paycheck, and that's great. But what's really strange about the announcement of this series is that Katie Joy has been escalating or skyrocketing or launchifying herself back into the YouTube algorithm the same way Shirelle is. And it makes me and others ask the question, could it be that Katie popped off around 6 or 7 days ago in the YouTube algorithm, started going from, 1 or 200 subs a day back up near 1,000 a day? Could this be a factor in why Shirelle is documenting Katie Joy being such a bad person? And is it going to be some similar thing to Steve McRae's year-long attempt? More than a year long now, or is it just hitting the year anniversary? He should have a birthday cake. The year-long anniversary of the Katie Joy expose that didn't expose anything in the end. Get me? Anyway, is it going to be the same? Is Sharrell's attempt going to be the same? And if it is going to be the same, that last expose ended in most disastrous consequences for the channel that participated in it. So what is going to happen here? Why is this happening? Isn't it weird that this is happening? I think it is. I think there's a lot of reasons to ask these questions. This is why I wanted and waited. It's why I didn't just jump over here to UNIRock 2 and this all popped off. This is why I waited a little bit, because honestly, I wanted some evidence to come out. I wanted what they are saying is their evidence. Literally, they have nothing but claims and no evidence behind it. And that would help me kind of say, yeah, it's not because Katie popped off in the algorithm. It's not because she's getting a shit ton of subs right now comparatively. Maybe she really is just documenting this, and we'll give both sides. But then a very disturbing thing happened in the trailer announcement. I think it's disturbing. I think it's crazy. Shirelle stated that she was inviting Katie to come talk about this situation. And I do kind of find that strange. She framed the question, not that she would be talking to Shirelle, but that she would be talking to a group of people. And can you guess who that group is? You probably can. I don't need to name them then. Okay, good. So I wouldn't, if I was Katie, to go talk to someone who, whether it's true or not, even though you know my opinion, Katie has accused of sexual harassment. So obviously she's not going to talk to the group. She's going to talk probably straight to Shirelle. So what would happen then? How would this, if she chose to do it, work out? And what's the point? What is the point, right? You could say Katie is a competitor to Sharrell's world, right? You could say that they both cover the same topics. They both cover similar literal like formats, right? They both have really high success in the algorithm right now. Now Katie, of course, just being at 70,000 subs and Shirelle being at 200,000 would explain why Shirelle has a little more of a pull in the algorithm here. But in all reality, I mean, look at these views lately. Covering the same topics, of course, the thought is this an attack? Is it going to be drama? Well, some new information came out. One thing was that people that were... This has renewed. Let me do it this way. Hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself, and then I'll go to the live chat and see what you guys got. And we just might sit around and chill over here. We need to chill on this channel a little. Warm the oven. We need to warm up the oven. No, we're not going to cook you again. You're already burnt as you could be. We're going to warm up the oven here to try to get our streamology pumping back on UNIRock 2. But let me tell you what's up. The new info. I was approached by some of the atheists. I was approached by people in the community. I'm going to leave it up to those people to come out and confirm or, you know, establish this instead of calling out anyone. But I was approached with evidence of direct messages that show that Katie's address was shared in January, or maybe December or November or January, sometime in that gap. We have evidence to show that her address was sent around and shared amongst a group of people that are either trying to be convinced of why you should hate Katie or people who actively hate her. And of course, this started a conversation. Should it be okay under whatever circumstances to share someone's address that way? And in fact, I haven't found a single reason. I went on Periscope and asked for opinions on what would be, let's say, the need, the necessity. How would it relate to anything YouTube related to be sharing Katie Joy's actual physical home address to people in the community who run atheist channels or atheist talk shows or run groups on Facebook, private groups on Facebook that focus on her. Why is that? What would be the point in sharing the address? And I do want to August, my first UNIRock 2 super chat. Happy Mother's Day, Rach. Well, thank you, and happy. I did tell you. I already told you Happy Mother's Day. But either way, I'll say it again. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. It's excellent day today, right? And no, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. That was your first UNIRock 2 super chat, really? Well, I haven't streamed here in a while. I've mostly been uploading for the last month or two, so yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Thank you. Also, we're going to take a little look at Nate Brody's video. If you guys can tell me that I should watch Nate Brody's. Nate Brody streamed, and I haven't seen it yet, and I want to look at it. And I don't know if we're going to look now, like in this stream or in the after show stream, but before I start chilling tonight, we are going to look at Nate Brody's video. That needs to happen. Either way, I want to ask you, and I have an open live chat. Again, if anyone tries to chat in my live chat and you cannot, just log in on another account or hit us up on Twitter or something. Let us know that you can't talk, because we did have a rogue mod ban a few people. I think I've repaired the damage. But if you are blocked, it is not because I want you blocked, so you need to let me know so I can unblock you. I want to ask the live chat. I just pulled the live chat over. Now that you have the claim, you see what I've done here? I have made a claim that Katie Joy's address was shared by Steve McRae to atheist content creators back in December and November into January. Will he ignore this? Will he deny it? He cannot. And I'll tell you why. Well, one, if I was to share this, I would have to blur a lot of stuff out, but it would, at the very least, prove to you that this happened. And I will help you out with that. Not right now, though, because I think the best thing to happen here is to allow those that received her address to just admit to it. And maybe then they could give the opinion of why it's acceptable to be sharing her address. Why would that need to be inside of a packet of data? What the hell just happened there? Did that reload? Or maybe it was below it did? I don't know. What in the hell would ever Katie's address have to do with any of the YouTube drama that goes on, right? Even if Katie refers to her home, it doesn't mean that it's okay to share her address. It violates the TOS of every network, right? You shouldn't be sharing it and getting it around. So why did it get shared? Well, let me say that, and then I'll ask you guys. Sorry, my chat locked up on the super chat. I unlocked it. You tell me if you think there is an excuse to share Katie Joy's address, especially when we're about to talk about the worst problems with this story in sharing her address, or just the story in general after I talk to the live chat. But if you want to give me an opinion there, do it, because I don't think there is a reason. Let's give you some context. The reason that the address was shared, you guys know that my major issue with the Katie Joy story was that people on the internet were trying to prove, like a sleuth, that Katie Joy's son was not sick, was not medically fragile, was not autistic. In fact, they would use words like claimed. Katie claims her son is autistic, and that her son could not be medically fragile because of this or that reason, even though he's had 3 brain surgeries. That led to, of course, a claim that because while they were positing, before they could prove, like most people would, they would wait until they had proven, they had some evidence, they could actually show that Katie Joy was lying about her son, which we know she wasn't, and then go to the next thing they were trying to do back then. And I hope Shirelle will get this information somehow, where they were trying to say that because her son is not medically fragile, when Katie took fundraisers, Make-A-Wish Foundation types of assistance that would allow her son to take trips and do all these things, that she defrauded those people. That was the claim back then. And it also centered around her address. Nana, happy Mother's Day to all you wonderful mamas, especially UNIRocktv. Why, thank you, Nana. We appreciate you and we love you. Thank you. But back to it real quick. Where was I? Oh, yes. They could not establish that she was lying about her kid being medically fragile. In fact, the amount of evidence that existed that showed that her son had had brain surgeries was what she claimed her son to be. You know, it really begs to kind of like, why question this in the first place? It literally has nothing to do with her or any criticism, and it's crazy. But if you want to try to prove that she's scamming people with fundraisers to take her son on Make-A-Wish Foundation trips and trips and things like that, that's why it happened. In the same respect, there was another attempt when that didn't work to show that Katie paid for her house with these donations. Why would Katie have to do that, though? It almost like shows that you're either dealing with people that are trolling, lying. I mean, Katie was making really good money on YouTube when this all happened. More money than she's making now, and her and Shirelle are both making massive amounts of money through YouTube right now. And we're talking good money. What's the point when you're raking in the dough to try to use your son, lie about his medical issues, to try to get money out of it to pay for a house when you could pay for a house, 2 houses if you want, right? And Shirelle can actually kind of understand that, because she also can understand the amount of money that they're making from the content, like most creators around their size can. It's like some people may say, oh, they're not making that much off of 200,000 views a day. They are. That is how many million views in a month? And a million views is what? $2,000 to $8,000 a month for just a million? It's a lot of money, especially if you hit the 10-minute mark and you get those mid-roll ads, right? And then what about super chats and things like that? Memberships, all these things factor in. Either way, let me get back to it. The reason that the address was shared to these atheist creators and to other people that I'll bring up in just a minute, and I'll tell you the consequence of her address being shared too, but the reason it was shared is because they wanted to try to build a case that she had used her son's medical condition to pay for her home by lying about it. And in order to do that, they thought they would send Katie's address to a lot of people and say, look at how nice and big this address is, and this is, and then imagine her lying. But the problem is you can't just imagine it. There has to be evidence to it. You get me? That never came out. There's never been any. There's not a single thing that would even lead someone down that line of thinking, unless you are just biased against her or lying about her for some reason. And you notice I'm leading to something. You notice how when I come here to do a stream, I like to take us to a journey here, and we have a destination we need to get to, so hang with me on this. Back to what I was saying, though. Now you've got the story framed in front of you. You know that all this drama happened back in November into December. You know that I was actually only given one side of the story in November, and I did videos. I reached out to Katie, and she wouldn't talk to me. But when I finally talked to her and got her evidence and got her side, of course, it changed my mind, because it's easy to prove these kind of things that these people are claiming about you are fake if you actually sit down and talk to the person. And I don't know, but I've shown it. I've shown you the main accusations against her from then. And luckily, there have been additional videos done since I stopped talking about the story. I laid the story down for the most part, other than a few updates here and there. And I've been doing my other type of content on Rock a lot, uploading here ever so often, right, to try to get more uploads on this channel. This channel's always been about live streaming. I want to make it about uploading too, but I ignored that story. I moved on from the story and would only bring you the updates that really mattered to it. And so, not paying attention to it closely, I didn't know that there are videos that are made that show their case against Katie in January and in February. I don't know if there's one in March, but there's January and February. And looking at those videos, see, after I busted them for lying about Katie and proved it and moved on, I didn't see these. And they don't contain any evidence. They are just like the claims from before. In fact, they just consist of the claims from before against her. And I'm perfectly fine with you having an opinion or having a thought, but my issue isn't that people have an opinion or a thought. My issue is the claims and the fact that they're not backed by evidence purposely. You got me? You got me. You get me? You got me good? Good. So, looking at even their updated evidence packet after December, there's nothing else there. This is why, because Sharrell chose to bring Steve McRae on as his resident Katie Joy expert, there's so many things I could say there, and I just won't. I'll try to keep it all related to what's going on, updating you in the story, but I could break it down, and I won't. Even though Sharrell decided to bring Steve McRae on as a Katie Joy expert, which I thought he denied. I'm not going there. I thought he said he wasn't. I'm not going there. I thought he said he was done attacking her because he couldn't prove any of it. I'm not going there. Back to what I was saying, though. This has led us down to the last little spot here. Why is Sharrell doing this? When already having a successful series, when ironically Katie happens to be her competition on the channel, when Katie and her had such a good repertoire before, and then the weirdest little detail came out. Turns out Katie was streaming. This is a claim. I haven't confirmed it. I will work towards doing that into the future. Katie was streaming, and she went to check on Shirelle and messaged her. And while live, Shirelle blocked Katie. Now, you know that when you're streaming, if somebody blocks somebody, that the audience can go and look, right? You can go check it out. And essentially, Shirelle blocked Katie just a couple weeks ago, which is weird, or maybe a week ago, which is really strange, because if you're gonna do a video and you're gonna tell people that you want to talk to Katie, it's kind of strange that she ended up being blocked. It seems like she would have unblocked her when she put that video live asking Katie to come talk to her, right? Either way, though, we are here now. I want to know what you think about the biggest controversy so far in the story. Why is her address being shared? So I'm going to go through the chat and see what you say in just a second. I got one more thing to add in. It's so crazy. I don't even know what to say on this. So on Periscope, I asked the audience for one person who agrees that it's okay to share her address, why it would be okay. And here's the response I got before I go to the chat and ask you. I was told it's okay to share the address as long as the address is public information. You see, I disagree, because when you are the leader of an administrative, you're the admin of a group that does nothing but attack Katie Joy, right? You know that's true. I've given you the boomy leaks that prove the contents of the private Facebook group licking the crystal balls. I've actually given you those leaks. Even yesterday or the day before, stuff leaked out on it, right? Shown you that they just attack and they just hold hypocrisies. They hold a higher standard towards themselves than they do when judging somebody that they don't like. Basically a biased group that trolls, you know. If you're an administrator there, and let's say you get her address due to something, why would you share it to atheist content creators who have no reason to have it, got me? Who don't talk about the subject or anything, and even if you did talk about the subject, there's no good reason to share the address to them. So if you're going to share the address to those creators, wouldn't you want to share it to the people close to you who actually talk about this story? And there's nobody that talks about this more for the last year than Licking the Crystal Ball's private Facebook group. So wouldn't you share it to maybe at least the administrators there? Or could you make the argument, no, against all belief, I only shared it to a bunch of atheist content creators that I wanted to convince that I was right about her being bad, because she pretended her son was sick so that she could buy a nice big house, even though she was making bank on YouTube and her husband works a really good full-time job at the time. That's my criticism. And I can't think of a single reason why you would share her address. You tell me in the live chat right now. Got me? Give me something good. Or if you think that the address should not be shared, then also type it in there. Because there's a lot of weirdness around that. Sharing the address of Katie Joy when you're someone who's been accused of blankety harassing her. When you're someone that's been accused of saying inappropriate things to her that made her feel like she felt the way she did, right? And then to go on such a hate spree against her. It's weird to share her address. Wouldn't you worry that if I share this address and then all of a sudden it gets out that I've shared the address, people are going to think I did it maliciously? Now for the kicker before I go to the chat, and it'll only take 10 seconds. After the date that he shared this address, Katie had the police show up to her house that were called by a stranger on the internet, called in to send the police to her house. Then her neighbors started getting harassed. Her neighbors started getting called and interviewed and stuff like that by people. And all of this happened. Now we know today this happened after, provably, McRae shared Katie Joy's address. Tell me your opinion. How is it okay to do it in the chat? And then we'll move on. No, that wasn't an admin. That was a mimic account. I guess it was. Oh, she made the address everyone's business by doing an Instagram live stream about her house. That makes sense, administrator of the Licking the Crystal Balls group. That makes sense. Really? Okay. All right. They have no shame. If they tell their family about what they do, I'm sure somebody would point out how crazy it is. They have to know it's wrong and wacky. You know, I agree. I don't think you should share people's addresses, even in the context of a story. Sometimes it just happens, right? When it's a huge news story. I know most YouTubers try to block out addresses, and it's not like anyone would hate you if you pull a news story and it's talking about something like that or whatever. But at the very least, you make the attempt. You try to take an extra step because of why do I have to say this? I almost tell myself I shouldn't have to say this live. It's unsafe to tell people those types of things. We all know it is. It's why, one, doxing is considered a threat. Got me? It is considered threatening somebody to dox them online, not to share their address, but to dox them, especially a public figure, because public figures give their opinions. They actually state how they feel about things, and they'll get people that disagree with them. And now we live in the crazy times we do, where you see the news stories that are out there about this kind of stuff, and there shouldn't be any need to tell adults, at least educated adults, why it's probably unsafe to do that. I mean, for goodness sake, I could write a damn Christmas song. Reminds me of a good old-fashioned cat fight. It kind of does, but that's the thing. This is claimed to not be a good old-fashioned cat fight. This is claimed to be an actual documentary series with the expert Silverfish coming in as the KJP expert on duty to tell the entire world the hard evidence to how she's so evil and existential of a threat. Somebody made a good point earlier today, too, while I was deciding on whether to stream this on UNIRock 2 or not, because I have been attempting to move this subject off of UNIRock 2, if you didn't notice. They said that calling somebody an I'll be right there. Calling somebody an existential threat and then sharing their address is one of the dumbest moves you can make on the internet, because if somebody takes you saying they're an existential threat or the definition of an existential threat, and they are crazy or they are a little mentally unhinged, they may do something to that person now that they have the address that they wouldn't do if they didn't know how to attain it. And honestly, her address was not easy to find on the internet before this. It's not like it was advertised out there. It literally took them digging and going, and they must have known that it was bad. They must have known that they needed to keep it quiet about sharing the address due to the people that they sent it to. They assumed that all the people they sent this to would never talk about how Steve spammed Katie's address to content creators and other people on the internet. You understand what I'm saying? Let me see what that chat said, please. Privacy needs to be number one nowadays. We don't care. Well, I agree. I think that when you can win an argument with your words, you don't have to do this doxing, this threatening stuff. You get what I'm saying? And then what happened after this was shared? Well, her neighbors were contacted. Oh, her husband's work was contacted after this. And they wondered how they got that information. They wondered how they got her address. They wondered how they got her neighbors' addresses. So do you realize what you have to do to get in touch with their neighbors? Has anybody thought about that yet? That would take some stranger, some person on the internet, most likely Steve McRae or one of his little cronies, to call Katie Joy's neighbors and say, hello, I know this might sound weird, but I'd like to talk to you about your neighbor, Katie Joy Paulson. You know what I'm saying? And isn't that just scary? Isn't that just weird? What would you do if you were sitting at home and your phone rang, right? Or you got a letter, right? Or someone tracked you down through Facebook and they said, I need to talk to you about your neighbor. And the first thing I would say is, well, how do you know my neighbor? Well, I watch her on YouTube. Well, actually, I don't really watch her as much as I watch people complain about her on YouTube every day for a year. I mean, I would panic at that point. I would block the person. I'd probably report it. And I do think that this is why legal action is now being claimed. Legal action is being claimed against, to be in the process against Steve McRae. So he will have 2 lawsuits soon. He's going to have to do a fundraiser, or maybe he'll get some big donator to pay for his defense there, but there will be one. Oh, that's right. I put it on Streamlabs. If one of your accounts were banned, tell the mods and we will unban you. Rogue mod banned a few peeps. I completely forgot I put that in there. Yeah, you guys should have kicked that account anyway because they were spamming the chat. You should have just kicked it anyway when they started spamming. Constant spam. They are obsessive. Obsessive compulsive. No, I didn't, Christina. No, I purposely hid both. It seems odd that Shirelle is having beef with Katie. They did a collab together not long ago. They seem to get along pretty well. They even mentioned possibly doing more collabs together, says Risa. And did you process that and think about it a little bit? Right? Isn't that a good point to make? Because what do you think happened after Katie went to Sharrell's channel and did that collab? Sharrell's comments section, we showed you evidence of this. Go to my Twitter and scroll down to the date of that interview. We showed you where in the secret troll groups that these guys are administrators of, they told the people there to not only go to that live stream where Katie was going to be there. Now, it wasn't that the admin was on. Steve McRae, the admin of this group, was not on Sharrell's channel. This was months ago when Katie went on the channel. We showed you on my Twitter, and I might have even talked about it live. I just don't remember because it was then. And we showed you where they ordered their mob to go spam Sharrell's comments section and spam the live chat. Now, when you're right about something and when you have an opinion and you want to get a hold of another YouTuber, I mean, I don't typically have these big spam fights, unless it's to raid someone's channel for positive reasons. It seems kind of weird to do it for negative ones. Or I understand a content creator going there and people like jumping in because they see the content creator there, but that didn't happen. This was plotted and planned. So I can honestly tell you with evidence to back it up that they wanted to affect Shirelle into thinking that their side is right by spamming her with all this stuff. And they did, and I showed it to you. And I told people, go there and read this stuff if you want to see how bad it is, how bad this, let's call it opinion over Katie was, because it was basically all hinging off of the debunked points that they made, like the screenshots that popped up and the email, right? Let me see what that one was really quick before we move on here. Dang it, I can't see it. YouTube needs to crack down on doxing. It's like someone sabotaging your job and trying to take away your income and destroying your day-to-day life. Well, you know what's weird? Hold on. Yeah, I got it. You know what's really weird about that point, Gabriel? Her husband was laid off after all of these calls came in. Now, I'm not trying to claim that it was the reason. After they started to call and spam his job, he ended up getting laid off. And am I saying it's related? No. Am I saying that I think it's related? Yes, I do. I do think it's probably related. Now, there are other things going on in the world, so maybe it's not. But when they got to lay people off at a job, and I don't know his job, I don't care to know what his job is, but when you do have to lay somebody off at a job, you think to yourself, what criteria do we use to choose who we keep at a job and who we lay off at a job now that we need to lay off people? And what if, right before you had to make that choice, you got spammed from troll groups, your employer, all this crazy information about YouTube beef that your wife gets in? Or what if they lied to the job so they could try to make him look bad? I mean, I find it weird that he didn't get laid off until right after all this, but he did, so whatever. That's just my opinion on him getting laid off right after this. Now, what is even more sick, if you think about it, how did they find out where the husband worked? They called the neighbors and got information about Katie Joy and her husband after Steve McRae provably shared her address to a bunch of atheist content creators. This is a true sequence of events, okay? He did share her address. He knows he did. He won't deny it. If you think I'm bullshitting, go ask him. If you talk to him, I'm not telling any of my viewers to do it, but if you're watching this and you do talk to him, next time you talk to him, ask him if he didn't share her address. Now, after he tells you yes, then you can, understand this whole situation. But if he tells you no and lies to you, then you need to let his atheist content creator buddies know, because they're not going to lie to you, because they know there's evidence out there that he did share her address to them. And even though Steve might lie about them and maybe throw them under the bus, I doubt they're going to tell a lie when they know that after he lies, the evidence is going to just pop up out there somewhere that he did this, because this is uncalled for. You don't share people's addresses like this, especially when you're mad because they accused you of what she accused him of, which was very bad stuff, right? It's almost the worst thing. Oh, you forgot about that? Well, I'm glad I helped you out, but that was my thought when I realized that earlier, but I'm happy you brought it up because I forgot to say it, so thank you. I'm going through the chat right now, y'all. I'm not trying to, Civil evidence is different. It is more likely that he has done what she claimed. Easy to pull all of this creepy behavior. I'm sure she has a database too. Oh, I'm sure she does, but luckily you've got a database right here. If you rewind back to December 18th on this channel, and then watch a few videos before the December 18th video versus mode part 2, and watch a few videos after. Because when I realized that he had been lying about his biggest points, the points that outraged the community, that he kept claiming were real about Katie Joy, turned out to be faked screenshots and turned out to be a faked email. And what's weird is that on the channel today, he brought up that email and said that Leslie Bass never sent it to him. Yes, she did. She put the email on her Twitter and everybody got it. Everybody on the internet has this email but him. And I just think it's the level of lying you guys need to center in on in this. If somebody accused me of something, and I'll fill in what he did, he got accused of sexual statements that made her uncomfortable, and she classified it as sexual harassment, which she had a right to. If someone accused me of something, I would definitely not follow it up by harassing them nonstop, and I'll add in for a year. And you know this all died down. This all went away. Everybody got their opinion in. Everybody got their words in, right? And it started dying down. Everybody started moving on. I'm over there playing Tarkov at night to 400, 300 people hanging out. Other people that were involved in this, like Katie, are blowing up 200,000 views on her channel. You got Sharrell, who was in this story a little bit over there, getting massive views. And the guy who has been doing atheist content and can barely pull an audience and has to beg for comments and live viewers and likes, turning off his like-dislike ratio, has to be the one who drudges this back up with all these claims and all of these databases full of information. And why do you need a database full of information? Wouldn't that be bad to throw out on YouTube at least? Wouldn't it be nice to at least just give your top most egregious things with the evidence behind it, seeing as in December, this was debunked? The hardest evidence that he had against Katie Joy, which were screenshots and an email that he claimed was proof that she falsely struck a creator, turned out to be fabricated in Photoshop or whatever program they use. Most likely Photoshop. It's the best industry standard and the cheapest. It's actually really awesome that it's cheap. She bit our heads off. Can't say we didn't warn her. Now she may have a serial stalker apologist on her channel. Yeah, you're right. We did try to warn Shirelle. I gave you all the opportunity to. The stuff you guys turned into me that you said Shirelle should see, I put it out and tagged her. And she saw it because she responded. So that's right. Shirelle can sink her own ship with this. But it's actually not all bad. It gives me a reason to come back here and get started back up on UNIRock 2 again at night. And I've been missing this channel, this stream. I needed to get some content out other than my uploads. So it's nice. It is. But I don't like that this is the topic we come back to. I don't like that this is happening. Why, if you failed so hard in December with fake evidence, and then the worst part, I didn't even get to the worst part. The worst part about this whole situation is that when I showed the world that those top things being used against Katie were created provably and not real strikes from YouTube and not real things that she said in a conversation, when I gave that to the community, nobody who attacked Katie updated their audience. None of them went to their channel and said, this is proven fake. Nobody went to their channel and said, this email, this strike didn't happen. Instead, they took a break. They went underground. They chilled. They said they were going to stop talking about Katie. Coincidentally, the day after I put out the proof that they were using fabricated stuff against Katie. And are you telling me you can't you can sit and talk all this smack against her for a year that culminates in fake evidence against Katie. And you have all that time to talk about her, but you can't, when you get debunked on the points you use against her, update your channel with it, right? And he goes underground, and that did cause his channel to suffer from the, low viewership it's been suffering from since he did this. Because you can't deem yourself logical or skeptical or a philosopher if you're doing this. You can't deem yourself morally right or ethical or any of these things. Philosophy debates ethics. It debates these things. It discusses them and what makes them up the conditions for ethics or morals. And to say you're a philosopher, but yet you act in such an immoral way, it's why he bottomed out with this content. Ironically, all he had to do to get a couple views back on his channel and to turn back on the like-dislike ratio, you know, all he had to do was clickbait Katie Joy Paulson's name today. Oh, I'm not saying he's going to be sued. I'm not saying he's going to be sued. I'm not saying he's not going to be sued. I'm saying legal action is happening. That's all I know. That's all I know. There's a claim that legal action is happening starting in the next few days against Steve McRae for what he's done here. And I think that also goes to show that she's actually, as much as you may have an opinion about her content, you don't know her as a person. And most of the people that criticize her do try to use personal things to judge her with. And if that's what you do on the internet, you do you, boo. But my point is, I think it's pretty nice of her to not try to push for legal action at the end of December or going into January. But I know why she didn't, because he stopped this. They stopped going after her to an extent. He laid low so that it seemed like the harassment didn't stop against Katie. It's really weird that he's talking about her again, right? Because he gave the appearance that he didn't care about her anymore. He, in fact, made the statement that nobody better bring up Katie Joy or UNIRock because I'm not talking about any of them and I will ignore you. This is one of his tweets when he had his Twitter privated, remember? And after some time, he unprivates Twitter, and after some time, he starts talking about Katie again. And I think that she does have a case. How doesn't she? How doesn't she have a case? Right? The screenshots are out there of all the things he says in private Facebook groups where he harasses her looks and how he shares all of these things that make fun of her. His Twitter timeline is, again, now cluttered up with things that put down her looks and appearance. But even more, there are a lot of clips and screenshots of him stating he would like to see her channel go down. He would like to see her viewers unsub. This is her business. So what is the criteria for you to file any type of legal thing? She has a whole wealth of choices. Her and her husband have a wealth of choices. I have no clue. I'm brainstorming and talking to you. I am not stating what she's going to do. I just know she's taking legal action. But she could do a lot of things like try to prove where he damaged her business, right? He says he has an argument that Kyle damaged his business when he doesn't even have a contract with him and chose not to do a contract with him. And Katie does have a business and can prove that she owns it and can prove that he actively went on a year-long campaign to damage it, not to criticize her. Criticizing her and criticizing what she does is way different from what his actions were. I don't think I have to make that argument right now. The reason that I have to make an argument right now is because it's happening again. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to stop treating him with kitty gloves and being Mr. Nice Guy. I'm going to drop the logic on him, and we're going to head over to Rock a Lot. We're going to chill for a little bit. I'm going to talk to the chat again. I'm going to show you a couple other things. But first, let's take off the kitty gloves, and let's hit him with some... Let's hit him with some critical thinking.
No memory.
I think so, Risa, I think so. Risa said she should have took note of what happened to Leslie Bass after she teamed up with Steve, and take note of what happened to Leslie the minute Leslie called out Steve, because now Leslie is part of those little groups that make fun of Katie. Isn't that interesting as hell? It's weird. It's almost like because he's the admin, he gets to choose who gets made fun of in the group and allow what he wants to allow. It's crazy town, right? The truth of the matter is, that he's doing this to Katie because he hasn't been getting views, right? He'll accuse all of us and say that we aren't getting views and we're clickbaiting his name. The first live stream he's had that has done any type of viewership whatsoever had to do with clickbaiting the name of Katie Joy Paulson. Again, and he did it twice in a row, right? He's been bleeding subs up until he clickbaits Katie Joy Paulson's name. And instead of criticizing her, instead of providing evidence against her, and he claimed he had evidence, he claimed that she did all these things. He claims and claims and claims. He even claimed that Katie harmed him and his loved ones. Now, why is that important? Well, I haven't told you here. No, I did. I did an upload about Nate Brody, didn't I? Oh my God, I've been so busy. I need to make sure I did an upload about Nate Brody. Hold on. Because I'll update the Nate Brody situation if I did. Yes, hold on. I did, right? Like the end part of that video was the Nate Brody thing, right? Yes. Okay. And I showed some. Oh yeah. Hold on. Yep. Oh, I talked about. Damn, I forgot what I talked about in that video. Oh my God, I've been live streaming too much, man. But I can't help it. I've been getting so many views when I play Tarkov and do other things. I just can't help but to keep live streaming it. It's crazy. It's almost like it's content or something. It's almost like I don't got to clickbait anything to be able to get views over on any the channels that I regularly stream on. But then again, there's the claim that I need to clickbait him to get anything, I suppose. But back to what we were talking about tonight. Kitty gloves off. He's doing this. And the reason why in the video, he says everyone else is clickbaiting his name, even though I don't know why would anyone. How do you clickbait somebody that small? Like, how do you clickbait a name like that? Okay, anyway. His title has Katie's name. It's all about her, all about claims. Does he show a piece of evidence? No. Well, that's the same thing he did to Nate Brody, and there's been an update. I've heard a rumor. I don't know if this is true or not because I've been spending too much time prepping the video that you're going to get on the GoFundMe situation, prepping the content for the late night streams, and also the other videos I'm working on. But I heard a rumor that Nate Brody announced that Sweet Heathen apologized to him. So I thought I'd ask you guys, do you have a timestamp or do you know about where in Nate Brody's live stream I can hear that clip? Because I want to play that clip right now. I haven't heard it yet, and I would love to listen to it live while we're chilling. What do I need again? Nate Brody supposedly did a stream today where sometime frame in that stream, he discusses Sweet Heathen either retracting or apologizing or something. And I would like to watch it myself, hear the words myself, and make up my mind myself. So if you know about when, let me know while I talk to the live chat for another few seconds, because this will culminate in us going to the Rock A Lot YouTube channel. It's our after show. Whoa, it's our after show network on YouTube. I almost minimized everything. Hit me up. Give me a timestamp if you got one. I'll pull up Nate's channel. I haven't seen this yet. I'm excited to see it. Let's see what's there. Oh, damn. He just uploaded an hour ago. Oh, my God. I got to watch this. Hold on. I'm not going to watch it right now. If I watch it right now here, then I want Nate to get the views, so we'll wait. But either way, it's this stream, Sunday stream. Anyone know about what time I could find the clip that I'm looking for? When he was talking outside? Okay, he was talking outside. Oh, he's been talking outside the whole time. Okay. So it is this stream. All right. Let's skip through it and see what we can find.
Yo. What's going on, everybody? Today is Mother's
I'm going to start streaming outside too. I need to. I have to.
Day, so happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there.
Thanks. I'm just kidding. I'm not a mom.
I'm hoping you guys have a wonderful day.
I'm Busy's mom. Thank you.
Okay. It's 10 a.m. on the East Coast, New York City, and my name is Nate.
About halfway through, right? All right.
Because of the debunking, and I understand that, but
Okay, we're getting close.
Philosophy. Here's the evidence that it doesn't mean it's philosophy. Just debunking arguments. Just like everybody, Red's rhetoric. He debunks flat Earth arguments. This other guy,
he's not that good at it.
debunks political arguments. Now I'm pro-lib. I debunk.
I'm sorry. I won't get silly till the after show. I'll give you actual content before I start to get silly. Okay, I'll wait till the after show. I'm stupid.
Philosophical arguments and legal arguments. So we all have our little debunking here. So that's what I did with.
Is Streamlabs working? It is. Good. Thank you, Streamlabs. Dang it.
That's what I did with Steve. And he started labeling me, a troll and all these other things because of the debunking.
We got it. All right. Now, I've been defending Nate Brody on the Rock-A-Lot channel, and I know I haven't been streaming a lot over here, but I want to at least put it out on this channel, something around this topic so that we can move on from it and only update it when it's resolved and done. Same thing I'm trying to do with non sequitur. I've got a lot more information on non sequitur. I've found a lot more video clips that will open people's minds to what really happened with non sequitur, but I don't want to keep spamming that shit out, because then people will accuse me of clickbaiting it, even though nobody cares about that topic anymore. So we're going to wait to sum that up too. Anyway, though, let's hear what he's got, and let's just get through this. It's not the type of topic I want to hit. I want to start giggling at people saying dumb things on the net, like the thing Rachel found and is trying to get me to cover. Some guy that says 1 times 1 should equal 2 for some reason. That 0 times 1 should equal 1 for some reason, and makes a crazy argument for it, and it's some crazy stuff. You got to see this clip. But I'm going to not do that tonight. We'll do that tomorrow or something. But
and I understand that, but I never thought that it would get to the point where someone would be saying that I was worse than an offender, or that I was in any way worse than Earl David Warder, for instance. That just didn't make sense to me.
It's bad logic, my guy. It literally should be classified in the book with the label on the front of that book. Really bad logic. Philosophers won't say these things. Oh my God, I need that book. I have to write that book. It'll be labeled in the book. Philosophers don't say these things.
And I think, in trying to figure out what did I do to make someone even think that about me.
You debunked them.
It's just incredible. It was incredible. And at that point in time, now I understand that.
I can't wait until he reacts to this as if he never saw it. Let's thank Silverfish and crew for the views. Hi, Reds. Hey, Reds, do you mind helping me out, buddy? James for Modern Day Debate has been waiting for 6 days, 22 hours, 14 minutes, and 22 seconds for you to schedule our debate.
We all make mistakes, right? We all make mistakes, right? If I want to say this, and hopefully Sweet Heathen won't see this, and if she doesn't, forget it, whatever. But if I have done anything to offend you in any way, I apologize.
That's actually kind. That's actually not. I didn't expect that, but wow, that's actually really nice of him.
Go on with your life. Don't associate with me. That's the reason why I blocked you 8 months ago on Twitter, because it seemed like me and you didn't have a friendly rapport.
Yeah, and if you block somebody 8 months ago after the first few things you've ever said to them or ever will say to them, it seems like you can't really harm them if you never see them, talk to them, tweet to them, Facebook to them, any of those things to them. How do you harm someone who you blocked 8 months ago? And why didn't they say you harmed them then and the next month and the next month and the next month? I mean, why did they wait until your name came up during a debate to make the claim? It's all really kind of just weird, but I don't know.
So if you want to go and, say horrible things about me, I will not.
Claims that there is no straight lines at all in nature too, and that gravity is an effect and not a force. Ben Mack. Well, I will agree with them. There aren't straight lines in nature, right? On a molecular level, there's no straight line in nature. But then again, I think his argument is wrong because of why he's making that argument. And especially the gravity thing, that's just one of those semantic arguments. You could call gravity a force, or depending on how you define gravity, you could say it's not a force because it doesn't meet the exact criteria in physics to be called one. But I'm not here to debunk that kind of stuff. It's boring, and nobody likes hearing repetitious crap over and over again. That's why we're not happy about talking about this garbage. Hurry up and get this done, baby.
I will not stop you. You know, you can criticize me all you want.
1750. Got it. Okay, we're almost there, so I'll skip ahead in just a minute.
I won't
Thank you, Rye. So helpful, and I very much appreciate
associate with you. I don't want to associate with anybody you say. If people put out poor information that, you know, that I feel that, you know, the public should be challenged, I'm going to challenge it. But I don't have to speak to you to do that. Like when Steve says, I never want to speak to Nate Brody again. That's fine.
Yeah, that's why you guys should just do videos. You should make a video. He should make a video responding. You don't have to speak to each other, right? And you can still put out the content directed to the community about what's going on and give your opinion, like we do on situations and things that are happening. Good point, Nate.
Respect that. I will not contact him, do anything with Steve McRae. I will not contact him or try to contact him. No, go, you know, great. Do your thing. That's,
you know what it sounds like to me? And, you know, you could be making accusations at him and you're not. It's almost like you're taking the more adult, more philosophical, more intelligent road here.
It's fine. But if you put out
what's another word for intelligent that makes fun of intelligent? Intelligent. I'll think of it. Intellivision? No, that doesn't work. I don't know.
That are poor arguments. I'll criticize those arguments, but I don't have to have anything to do with you, right?
Exactly. We've already been given the perfect platform for this kind of thing, right? If you don't want to respond to him or watch his stuff, how do you know if he debunked you or not? You literally tell everybody you haven't seen his videos. You'll never watch his videos. You don't know if he debunked you or not. But for you to say he didn't do it and then say you didn't watch it, and for everybody that watches Nate Brody's video, for them to come out the other end congratulating him for debunking you so hard, it really makes it seem like you did watch him and that you're just trying to talk bad about him.
There's a difference there. But I think the response is just an ad hominem.
Yes, it's a definite fallacy. Just like the flat earthers do. I won't go there yet. I'll wait till later.
So for Steve McRae, if you know, he can have at it. He can, you know, that's why now, even think about how bad it was last night with this show, Sharrells, or whatever the name of that show is.
Oh my God, I'm so glad he spoke on this. I want to hear what he has.
Steve McRae has become so toxic that people bombed her with all of this evidence of the rape apology.
The R, I always use the letter R so that the YouTube algorithm doesn't shred me, but it's okay. A couple of them shouldn't do it shouldn't make it bad. A couple statements should be okay.
This stuff and all this other stuff. And she can't.
Yes, Gabriel, she did accuse Nate of doing that to his own children, and now this. You're right, and that's why he made the argument that he made that they strawmanned him on. And they tried to act like he was denying something. And in reality, he was saying, no one needs to believe that I harmed you when you've made these false allegations about me specifically this many times. And I think it's good logic. And that's what we do as philosophers. It's what we do as Intellivisions. It doesn't work. I need a new word for that one. This is what we do. We try to understand what someone is saying, the train of thought that they have, and then respond with examples, with other thought processes, and we think through it, and we respond. And then the audience watches both people give their take and makes up their mind themselves off of what they see and hear, and the evidence that's shown, not referred to, got me to make up their mind on these topics.
Canceled their, more or less canceled their interview last night. And to be honest with you, I don't want to say I was disappointed, because I wasn't disappointed.
I was disappointed because I wanted to take that interview and do that here. I wanted to play the whole thing and literally pause it when they made a claim about Katie or anyone, pull up on the screen evidence to refute them and show them how it's done. And that's why I keep getting angry. I'm boomer triggered over this. I'm going to get crazy and I'm going to boom out all over the place. I'm not going to calm down, Busy, especially when you talk to... I'm the boss, not you. You don't tell me to calm down. I tell you to calm down. Well, smoke your crack and be happy. Either way, though, I forget lost my... Thanks, Biz. I lost my train of thought now because of you. You always do this to me. Shut up, shut up. I can't hear you. La, la, la.
But it really let me see how bottom of the barrel Steve McRae has got. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, he did clickbait Katie Joy Paulson, who has 200,000 views a day, while claiming that people who criticize him are clickbaiting him when he can't even pull 60 viewers to a damn stream without clickbaiting Katie Joy. So I'm with you, buddy.
Even speaking this person's name is not going to help anybody, because I think most people know the tactics. I think most people...
Oh yeah, that's the one thing that's changed the entire landscape of the internet here, is the tactics were so blatantly put in front of people. It can't be denied at this point.
People have their eyes open. In the past 3 days, I've had, no lie, about 10 people.
Well, he wonders why people are passionate to expose him. They're just trolls, give me a break. Well, in reality, he made certain people part of this story. He made Katie part of the story. He made Nate part of the story. Him coming to me while I'm doing my other content and asking me to cover this content was making me part of the story. Got me? And I did give my word. I did say that I would criticize whoever needed to be criticized, and I would push through until the end of this story, and I'd get everything out there. And now it's almost like I'm demonized because I'm clickbaiting when I was asked to cover it and given the conditions to criticize away even him, whoever deserves it. Everybody heard it ad nauseum over here, just constantly how good of content we made. All of us here at this channel, and how he could trust us to criticize who deserved to be criticized. And only because I did do that, you know, is caused this issue. But when you directly involve somebody in a story, and then they decide when something new happens, when a new development comes up, to update their audience or discuss it, to then turn around and call that whatever you're trying to, it's just dumb, it's ridiculous. And especially when no one over here is attacking anyone else. You know, any criticisms that we've made, Brody, me, or anyone else, we have the reasoning, the clip. We don't just claim they said it. We show you what they say. We don't just promise you a piece of evidence. We give it to you when we talk about it. If we expect to use it in some fashion, we just don't get that respect from the other side. So I could get the argument that they're attacking people, they're dragging this on, they're making the accusations, they're refusing to show evidence, but you really can't say that about this side. We have done our homework and we've done those things, because in all reality, what they failed to get, if I was to do those things, I wouldn't be disrespecting him. I'd be disrespecting the audience. I would be disrespecting you. And I think that's why he's in such the boat he is, because he doesn't realize if you're going to reference evidence and you're not going to show it, you're going to make an accusation at Nate and you're not going to show it, then, though, you're going to demand that your audience believes it or get blocked or whatever it may be, that is disrespecting the audience, not this other person, right?
Who used to call me a dirtbag, used to call me a scumbag, come and apologize and say, hey, they believe Steve Junk. And now, you know, and I can name off names, but I don't want to embarrass them, because...
Name the names.
It's sad. There's one guy who is so critical to me in all my videos. We're talking about this guy was comment every time. I always left his comments up. People were attacking him. And then one time in the comment section, when people were attacking him, I said, well, listen, no, I am not going to block this guy, because he can criticize me all he wants. That's his right. And
exactly.
It was it's fair. It's fair criticism. He could say, I'm an idiot, and that's all fair.
I don't know. If he calls you an idiot, I'd block him.
But I won't block him because he should, if you say something that's off the cuff or that's crazy, then yeah, you may get blocked. But
well, you can unblock him later.
Otherwise, just saying that I'm an idiot.
I'll stop. I'm done.
for thinking this way.
Here it comes. The timestamp of doom.
And my conclusions are wrong. That's fine. That is okay. That's what I'm here for. That's the reason why I make the video. If I just wanted to make videos that only people agree with, then I wouldn't make videos. So yeah, so that's what that was about. And now this person, after what happened the past 2 days, has come and said, had made it very clear that they are on my side, that they are, agree that I didn't harm anybody, that all the months and months of them being involved in it, there was no harm. There was nothing like that.
Well, yes, you've got people that claim to be anti-SJWs, their crew. And yet, this isn't the tactic of someone who is anti that type of, that's the whole Twitter, you know what I'm saying? The whole Twitter slang over that word, but you've got them doing things that completely contradict the logic.
And to be fair, and this is why I'm apologizing to Sweet Heathen, she has come out and said that there was really no harm. There was like this intent to harm. And
oh, really? So why hasn't he? Is that why he accused Katie Paulson of harming her and him today? Was because he knows that Sweet disagrees with him that you, Nate, harmed them? Wow, that would be the type of, that's the type of nugget of information that I would say would be required to be put on your channel, because you were speaking for her, saying that she agreed that Nate harmed her, and now she's going to Nate and saying, sorry, I don't believe that you harmed me. I think that's something that should have been updated today, but it wasn't.
She wasn't even speaking off the cuff, right? She's putting comments, she's speaking off the cuff, and she was an emotional time, and
oh, she said it because she was emotional. That's the opposite of a logical thingy that you say.
So if that's the case, and people can make mistakes, nobody's perfect. This interaction that we're having here, there's going to be something that I can say that may be wrong, that I may not have any evidence for. And it's fine. It's fine for us to do that. But understand that when it happens, you go and you say, okay, I'm sorry. I've made a mistake, and that's it. And we can't hold each other for these things forever, right? So if she was just speaking off the cuff and she just, and she was asked a question and she said something that she...
Well, yeah, but I mean, wouldn't we need to publicly tell people? I get that's what you're doing on your channel, but wouldn't it need to be said at least to the people that it was said to from before? So wouldn't it be the right thing to do to say it on the channel you made the accusation on? Because that whole audience isn't going to know this, especially when the YouTuber didn't tell everybody that Nate didn't harm them and that he lied. You do know why Sweet Heathen emotionally said that, because she was forced to after the claim happened on Modern Day Debate. This is new information. This is new information that updates the information that was on Modern Day Debate. I mean, she came to you and said that you didn't harm her and that she doesn't think you did. Well, on Modern Day Debate, while she wasn't present, this all started when it was claimed in front of 5,000 viewers. Those 5,000 viewers don't know that she has changed her mind. Then, when the next day it was taken to you-know-who's silvery channel, it was stated again by both her and him. And have they been told, have the Silver Simps been told that Sweet Heathen has changed her story? So now we know why there was no evidence. You realize after it was said on Modern Day Debate, all of us rose up and said, we want the evidence, or we want these accusations to stop. They refused. They didn't just not give evidence. They responded and refused to give evidence that you harmed them. Now Sweet Heathen's backing out of it, saying you didn't harm her. He hasn't updated the story, and now he's telling people Katie Joy harmed him and her. So he just replaced the accusation. In reality, the only person who's harmed anybody would, I think, be the opposite. Wow.
She now regrets, then who am I to hold it against her? You know what I'm saying?
And that's very mature, Nate. And I think that's why a lot of people consider you a good guy. They watch your channel now. They realize that they were unfairly judging you before with cherry-picked tiny segments where they should have gone and done the right thing and watched your videos, opened their mind, actually given you a chance. And they're doing that now. And I think this is just reinforcement of the fact that, you know, we were all wrong when we were allowing people to convince us you were just a troll. At least to those points that we've addressed. And now that's why people are there now. And I think that's good. I'm glad we could do this. I'm glad we could all make up for the fact that, you know, people, including myself, were allowed through these cherry-picked little clips that we were shown to think you were such a horrible troll. And now, going back and even seeing those clips, but with the full context, you can tell that they were taken. It's just so bad. So I'm glad that we've been able to get it out there to people. We have countered it. The amount of people that were affected to not watch you is now overcome by the amount of people that will watch you due to knowing the new information. And I think that's at least hopefully that's enough to make up for the there's a saying, what if you're looking for the perfect person, you're looking for the perfect liar. It's like, yeah, if you're looking for the perfect person, you're looking for a liar, right? Isn't that, what's the quote? Anyone know that quote? Isn't it something like that? She should have said that to Steve when he kept saying it over and over. Exactly. But, you know, as long as she's willing to confront him, as long as she's willing to go up to him, to Steve, who made the accusation against Nate, and tell Steve that they should go straight to his YouTube channel now, go live, and update the YouTube channel with this new information, that would be honorable. That would be fair to apologize to Nate for spreading that lie. Now we have to ask ourselves a question, though. Why did he say he had evidence that Nate Brody did this if Sweet Heathen herself is saying there was no evidence? I emotionally stated this after McRae did on Modern Day Debate. This is pretty bad. I wonder how certain creators feel about this kind of thing. I wonder how they would feel if they were in this position, right? I think it's about time for creators to start putting themselves in the people's shoes who have been affected by this. He's chasing the dragon. He needs help. Well, the dragon he's chasing has already eaten him alive.
That's what it is. So,
and thank you, my guy. Very much appreciate you. Honestly, you guys are too kind.
Going on record, you know, I don't want anything to do with neither Steve, Sweet Heathen, Cheshire, that whole group. I don't want anything to do with them. And they are more than welcome to come and criticize any of my videos or any of my points, but I don't want to talk.
They won't. That's not what they do. It's why they've lost support. They now have fully embraced the fact that they are the thing they said they hated. They're two-faced. They're hypocritical because now they're nothing but a teen mom drama channel. That's it. They have reduced themselves from, they tried to do the atheist philosopher thing, and as soon as he gets debunked by you, he bails on philosophy and switches back to Katie Joyosophy.
Talk to them. I don't want to have any interactions with them, and I think that's fair, you know. And I think that's
very fair. It's very fair. That's exactly what they demanded from you. I think we can do what we do just fine by uploading what we upload, and when we choose to weigh in, criticizing it as we see fit, and just moving on with what we do. Just like how I'm going to go to the Rock-A-Lot channel in a little bit, and hopefully you'll come hang.
That's probably going to be the best way forward. But with that said, I have one last video that I promised you guys about philosophical atheism and what it is. And
Lucifer, dude, good to see you. Is he in here? Almighty, right? Isn't it Almighty? I don't see him. Why can't I see him? If he's in here, tell me. I hope he's not blocked or something. I'll go unblock him right now. There he is. It's what happens when you don't bow down. Lucifer, Well, I know you didn't like me for a while. I don't hold any hard feelings against you. I know how it is, dude, because I've been there. I know what they do. They show cherry-picked, select tiny things that are not true, that are taken out of context, that are absolute lies, like they did to Brody, like they're doing to me, like they're doing to other creators. All it takes is for you to open your mouth and criticize them on something, and you're added to the list, the block list, the ban list. But if you're a content creator and you've got influence, after you're added to that list, they seek to try and continually put you down and attack you while saying that they're above drama channels. They're above this behavior. So all I'm trying to say is you're welcome here. You won't get blocked here. You can criticize me if you want. You can agree or disagree. As long as you're not breaking TOS and spamming or harassing, you won't get kicked.
And recording that video. Oh, let me read this. Skeptical Steve. Maybe, though, Nate Brody, she regrets it.
You see, not everybody can be the worst kind of narcissist. They're very rare. Most people have a conscience. Most people are good people, even if they make mistakes online, or even if they're, especially when they're in a crowd, right? And they've got a lot of people in that crowd inundating them with points. They trust people in that crowd, and therefore they don't verify everything that's brought to them, and they assume, right? Or for other reasons, like a lot of people look at creators with 10 or 15 or 20,000 subs, and they don't think that they need to go around. They say, you may not be fully established, but you're at least established enough to where I don't have to go fact check everything you say and do, because if you did really bad work, you wouldn't have 10, 15, 20, 30,000 subscribers. Got me? And that's the trap that a lot of people fall into in this story. It's that they don't realize how those subs were gained. Were those subs gained through actual hard grinded content, good YouTube content on a schedule, hard work, getting it out? Or were those subs gained because you did something and were given this by someone else? Because honestly, the only time you should be able to judge the subscriber number is if it was hard gained themselves. If it wasn't hard fought through lying about another creator, through going on someone's show and then stabbing them in the back later, or whatever it may be. You get me?
Let me see this. She regrets it because she got so much pushback. Wonder if everyone took her side. If everybody took us.
Oh, look, I know the answer to that question. I'm going to go ahead and close this, though, and I'm going to let you guys know this is Sunday stream. Happy Mother's Day. G-Man wants to hang out. Random talk. I'm going to refer you to that show and let you know that if you want to see more of it, it was streamed on Nate Brody's channel 11 hours ago. Nate Brody's one of the few creators I will continue to shout out. I won't be shouting out a whole lot of creators into the future, just so you know. I mean, I have to get really established with somebody before I'll shout him out anymore, but I'll still shout Nate Brody out at least for a while. At least till he decides to set me up with a conspiracy theory. I'm just kidding. I couldn't think of anything to say. I had to default to a conspiracy theory. Kai, thank you over there on Mixer. My Lord, where do you get so many of those things? Thank you. All right. Now, what time we got? How long we been live? Oh my God, we've been live for an hour and a half. We're going to head over to the Rock-A-Lot channel, but not before I talk to you for a minute in the live chat and before I sum up the things we've hit tonight, because I'm literally overloaded with the fact that this just happened on Nate Brody's channel. But I'm not going to say what you think I'm going to say to Sweet Heathen. In fact, I'll probably say the exact opposite. But either way, I got something to say. So let me say it. Why isn't my chat box working? Let me reset it. Let me try to reset my chat. There it goes. Okay. turns out, new information. Sweet Heathen has retracted the claim. According to Nate Brody, Sweet Heathen has retracted the claim that he harmed her, which is a good thing. And a lot of people are gonna still be treat Sweet Heathen in a negative fashion. Well, I disagree. I mean, I know Sweet Heathen has done a lot of things, but the only things that I know of that she did on the internet, on YouTube, if you want to disagree with her on things she said on Twitter and other places like that, because she's not exactly a creator, she's dipped her toes into the creator sphere by going on a live stream. She's still a viewer. Okay? So I'm going to say this. Unless otherwise weighed in, or unless she decides, I think that really, for a couple reasons, until something else happens, it should be good that she did this. She has retracted the claim that Nate harmed her, right? That's what matters. Okay? Listen, there's still someone who deserves to be held to the fire with showing the evidence that he promised us he had, that Nate Brody harmed him and his loved ones and his family, because his loved ones and his family are different than Sweet Heathen. Sweet Heathen was separate from those claims. He claimed Sweet Heathen, his loved ones, his family, and himself. And I think that Sweet Heathen coming out and apologizing to Nate should be considered. I think it's something that would never happen from the Silverfish. Now, when it comes to Silverfish, this does not undo his claim against Nate Brody. He needs to update his channel if he does do his due diligence, but we know he won't because he's already had several opportunities to do this and he hasn't. And hopefully Sweet Heathen doesn't retract the claim or retract the apology, because this is a good thing. Maybe Sweet Heathen will now start fact-checking the claims that people make to her about the other YouTubers that are in the sphere of this story. Maybe when doing that, she'll come to the conclusion that all of you had, that the reason why we never get a shred of evidence about Katie, about Nate, or anyone else accused of vile things constantly from a certain small sphere of friends is because there is none. I mean, think about it. Why would you sit and make the accusation constantly? I could understand making the accusation and then having time to show it, but why would you constantly make accusations with never showing the evidence of what you're speaking? And he did put two things out on Twitter that he says were evidence of Nate doing the harm to him, his family, and friends. But those were completely debunked instantly. They were from years ago. They didn't involve any harm. They didn't even involve anything worth bringing up to the story. So my point is, where is this promised evidence that was promised on Modern Day Debate and on the channel? And if it's not there, you either need to man up and show it, or you also need to go contact Nate Brody and apologize to him. And if you don't want to contact him and apologize to him, you can at least either do it on your channel or retract it. But even if you will not, thank you, Leroy, my guy. I'm loving it too, dude. Loving those stickers. Even if you do not retract it, it won't matter, because we will not accept your claims without evidence. There have been too many false accusations, too many evidenceless claims, too many promises. This is another promise broken. This is another lie told. Got me? Now, my goal is to respond to all of this on UNIRock 2 so that we do not have to keep updating you about this garbage here, and we can move on to talk about other things and even restart our nightly show where we bring in claims made across the internet, things said across the internet, and do a comedic take on them together at night on UNIRock 2 before moving to the after show like we've done for years here on UNIRock 2. So hopefully this will be the thing that gets all of this out of the way. And if I do need to respond any further and it's not a completely major update, it will happen on the Rock-A-Lot channel or on Periscope in a very quick fashion. So follow me on Periscope at UNIRocktv. If you can do it through Twitter, but you also can follow me there if you don't use Twitter, because Periscope is awesome. Periscope is, I am partnered with them. Essentially, I work for them when I stream on their network, and they have put me in the VIP broadcasters program. So please support Periscope because they support us, and it does help out. What they do for us does help out. Now, we need to talk about the entire story, just so everybody's updated, everybody knows what happened. Let's start with the most important thing. Let's sum this up and then talk about where we're heading, which is Rock-A-Lot. The most important, why is the live chat acting funky? There we go. I bet that'll fix it right there. I bet that'll... Oh, there it went. I knew it. I had a button pushed on it. It shouldn't have been there. Now, the main part of this story, of course, is that Red's rhetoric will not debate me. Oh, that's not this story. That's not... Is that this story? Oh, it's not this story. I've already responded to all of his points. We can debate all of his soy conditions that he wants me to meet to debate him can be addressed in the actual debate. None of them deserve to be addressed out of the debate. They can be debated in the debate. Unless you're scared to debate them. You scared to debate them. Okay, put that to the side. Where were we? The most important point tonight is the new information that's come to light about the Katie Joy situation, which is ironic. Thanks to Sharrell's world, we now have a massive bombshell surrounding Katie Joy Paulson and McRae. Let me hook you up in case you weren't here earlier when we talked about this. Sharrell's world announced that she was going on to have a live stream with McRae as the Katie Joy Paulson expert to expose Katie Joy Paulson. The problem is she canceled that live stream, and then out of the blue, there was a premiere on Steve's channel. And then that premiere, Shirelle is leading it, saying, I'm going to start a series. And the series will start with Katie Joy Paulson, where my resident, for some reason, 60-year-old man will sit and discuss because he's an expert on this young woman that he idolizes and talks about daily and makes fun of and puts down because he secretly wants to marry her and rub her feet every night while probably sniffing them or something. I don't know. It's creepy. Though, when Shirelle announced this, it, of course, brought all of this back up. A lot of people moved on from this story after we exposed that the major points, the top points, his only points that the community would even care about that are outside of opinions about Katie Joy Paulson were debunked as fabricated with hard evidence. You get me? Now, because those points were debunked and they're on this channel, go to Versus Mode Part 2, go to his fundraiser video, watch him make the claim that Katie struck Leslie, and then see the evidence for yourself that it's all a lie and he knew it because I sent him the information and he refused to update you on it. And since that happened, everybody lost interest in this stupid story. And we're back updating it because Shirelle was bombarded by the boomer until she gave in and succumbed to talk about this story. And the only reason she's okay to talk about it is because he showed her, as she admitted, and he admitted, a database of evidence. The database of evidence, of course, consisting of what they put out against Katie Joy publicly. Yes, it includes the things that we debunked. He couldn't even respond to our debunks. If he wants to say that Katie did all these things, show how our information is wrong with that thing you say you have to show all the time, evidence. But because this was brought up, people went back and looked in their messages, looked in their shared things, and noticed that they hadn't seen something that was sent to them, which was Katie Joy Paulson's address. And guess who sent it to him? Steve McRae. Provably. Now, who did he send it to? He sent it to his atheist buddies. So now one of two things is going to happen. One of three things. He's going to come out and deny that he sent the address to these people. Then the creators that he sent it to are going to have to respond, and they'll finally know how much of a liar he is once they hear them say that, and they'll come out and tell the truth. Or we will share it for them and call them out ourselves. But in response to this information, Katie is taking legal action. I can't tell you what kind because I don't know. I don't exactly know what she'll do. I know what I hope she'll do. And I do know this. She's got a basis for several different options now that she's chosen to do this. So basically what is happening is another lawsuit is starting that has to do with McRae, which we'll report for you. We'll report on it. He told me to report on his lawsuits, so we'll report on it. He did, though. Didn't he not? You heard him. I love that you're reporting on this non sequitur lawsuit, Uni. You do such a good job reporting on these lawsuits, Uni. I love your videos on the non sequitur lawsuits, Uni. Hey, he loves them. We got to keep them going. So yes, it was worthy of an update here. Of course, this video poses the question to you. Will you, as a Sharrell's World viewer or a his viewer, actually go and ask him if he did share Katie's address and why he did it? And then ask yourself, is there any reason why he should have? And if he denies it, all you got to do is ask his best atheist friends if he shared it to him, because provably they all can't be bold-faced liars. But then, like I said, if you get a denial, you'll get hooked up with some screenshots if they can't. Or some videos even. We'll hook you up. We'll make sure you get it. So tell me, or make sure you let me know how it goes. I'm very interested to hear what their excuse is for sharing her address so much. But as I said earlier, the reason why this is so bad, the spider is caught in his own web, Gabriel. As long as it's a silver web, you are correct. The only other thing that really sucks about this is the date in which he shared her address. It happened directly before a few significant events. One being the harassment Katie started receiving at her home address. Another being the police going to Katie's address due to being called in from a random internet viewer, and they admitted it to the police that they were a random internet viewer calling in. Also, her neighbors getting phone calls about Katie Joy and getting interviewed about Katie Joy and getting harassed about Katie Joy after he shared her address. This all happened directly after he shared her address. And wait, I had one more. We got the neighbors getting harassed. We got the police showing up. We got the other things happening. Her husband, after the neighbors were mysteriously contacted, her husband's employer provably started to get inundated with phone calls and emails and communications about Katie's husband discussing his wife's YouTube channel right before he ended up getting laid off. So really, I hate to be a philosopher of philosophy. I hate to philosophize this. I hate to critically think through this. I hate it. Well, I wonder if any of that happened due to the fact that he started sharing her damn address around to a bunch of people on the internet that hate Katie. Because the people that we know he shared the address to are the least likely people that he should have shared it to, right? And do you think he just said, I've got her address, and I'm just going to share it to these creators that are on the outside circle of my friend group without sharing it to the inside friend group that involves the other administrators for the Licking the Crystal Balls Facebook group, the secret troll group of Katie's that the Boomy leaks have come from, that show the disgusting stuff they say about her there. Literal obsessive hatred for Katie in that group, and the address being shared in DMs and other places around the internet. Somehow, all these things are just unrelated. It's just like the word atheism. It's all unrelated, and if you don't believe his take on what happened here, which it's none related at all, then you're just a troll and you're just stupid, right? We've got this topic done. Harasser review. Scammer review. Obsessed with Katie Joy and wants to marry her review. Hey, that sounded like the Addams Family thing. Da-da-da-da. Obsessed with Katie. Wants to marry Katie. Wants to marry Katie. Wants to marry Katie. Okay. Now you tell me what you think before I go over to the Rock-A-Lot channel. Over on Rock-A-Lot, we handle our after show, our long streams, our short streams, our gaming streams, our discussion streams, our live chat streams, the streams that aren't to a point, the streams that don't have a content, a purpose, happen on the Rock-A-Lot channel, along with our gaming content. So if you like that kind of stuff, if you want to talk to me further about any of these topics or others, the place to do it is the Rock-A-Lot YouTube channel right after this stream. But before I go there, if you got any more thoughts, let me know in the live chat, because we've got to round this out and get going. And thank you guys so much for coming by tonight. I have not been streaming on this channel, UNIRock 2, as much because of the quarantine, because the kids were home, because I was really busy, and I needed a little bit of time away from after years of nightly live streams here. It's nice to take a break, refocus my content, and get back over here after, just a little bit of a break. So it's always good to recharge and all that. I had to get the test done at the doctor and everything too. So it would have been really hard to try to do the shows and everything like I do on UNIRock 2 while going through all that. But now that it's done with, the last thing I have to do is move into the new studio in a couple weeks. But we can stream here until that happens, and we'll be here with no problem. But either way, I need to stop rambling and head over to the live chat. Let's go. Rush through for the live chat with one last point about this stupid topic. How can you deny me a debate on the Modern Day Debate channel about the Katie Joy Paulson situation 4 times in the last couple months? The last one that was offered by James, the moderator and owner of Modern Debate himself. And yet you can wind up over with Sharrell's world, somebody who knows nothing about the situation, somebody who hasn't debunked you on all of your BS around Katie, somebody who didn't provably show that you're a liar and a skeezer on this. You've got time to talk about it. I thought you wouldn't debate me because you weren't going to talk about Katie Joy, because you didn't want to talk about the situation, because you've moved on from all of that, because we're just trying to clickbait by talking about that situation, because we're just trying to get views by talking about that situation. You know what I think? I think you went to Sharrell's world because you wanted to get in front of her subs and gain some subscribers and get your channel a little bit of lifeblood pumped back into it. And I think all those things you accused other people of during that stream are your inadequacies and insecurities projected onto them, because you know you clickbaited Katie and Shirelle today, and you basically just, you know, it's weird. He even stated, in the most boomer way, I don't watch any of those videos out there that talk about me or talk about this situation. I don't watch them. I just do my stuff. I don't watch them. He called us sea lions. I don't watch those sea lions. How do you not watch us sea lions when your entire video was basically responding to each point I made last night, point by point by point by point? How do you not watch? It's a miracle. It's a silver sea lion miracle. Every point made in that dumb stream today was my video's points by point by point by point last night before I started gaming. Crazy town, right? Well, let's see what you guys think and let's get out of here. But we're doing it in the beaver room. This is the beaver room. I know it's a sea lion now, but often it has a beaver here. Turn off the viewer count. Wrong viewer count. Do I even have the UNIRocktv viewer count over here? Hold up. I was going to turn on the right viewer count. No, I just have, well, let's add it. Here we go. Browser source and viewer count UNIRocktv. There it is. And let's just slap it down here. Let's just slap it down right there. That's perfect little spot for it. Okay. All right. Let's see what you guys got. And then I'm Audi 5000G over to the Rock-A-Lot channel. Some music, busy. I can't hear the music, busy. Thank you, Gabriel. Right back at you, my guy. Can't do it without you. Torn Edge said, did he get her address when he worked with her on non-sec? How did he even attain her address? Who knows? All I know is he got her address between November and December and started sending it around to those creators. And into January. Lori says, the trolls posted it, so don't lie. Well, go find that date and don't lie. I don't know if you're talking to me, Lori. I'm just responding. I'm not mad at you or nothing. Thing couldn't clap along. Come on, clap with me. Come on, clap. Oh, Thing couldn't. Oh, he can clap like this, can't he? Can't Thing do the one-handed clap? Hold up, I'll do it. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Can you hear it? It's a clap. It's a one-handed clap. I don't know. I tried. Lucifer Almighty, I really hope he gets help. Been on a downward spiral for some time now. My guy. He's been on one since before he was kicked off. This is the problem. Everybody looks at it and they say, and like I'm not talking about you, but people look at what happened with him and they say he's been on a downward spiral since he started attacking Katie Joy or whatever. No, he's been on a downward spiral since he started saying those things to the women on Non Sequitur and attacking Aaron Raw and Dillahunty, which he is still doing in his About section. And he's still attacking Raw and Dillahunty like crazy. And I can't even believe Dillahunty even said his name. The greatest quote of 2020 came from Matt Dillahunty. If somebody types it in my live chat, I'll read it out loud, only if you do. But he started the downward spiral when he started hitting on those young girls on Non Sequitur. And it's like when they came out and they said that he made them uncomfortable and that they felt like they were harassed and that it was really weird for him to be talking about his junk to them and talking about sex to them from the perspective of him and whatever, you know, he should have just apologized to him and moved on, right? He admits he had those conversations with them. He's already admitted it live. And then today says that Katie is lying about the accusation. Katie is not lying about the accusation because you would not be doing this. I used to say I'm not going to believe either side. There's no evidence either way. Of course, there's not. And then what did he do today? He demanded that Katie show evidence about the fact that Steve did that to her. But you've already admitted you had the conversation with her. that you admitted that you talked about those two things to her, right? Now, whether or not she was uncomfortable or whether or not she feels sexually harassed, now that you've admitted it, you can't call her a liar. You can only call her a liar if it's not true. What else was his excuses about Katie? Do you remember some of them? One of them was, well, she talked like that all the time to Kyle, but now I can't talk. Yes, you can't. You can't just talk to someone. Kyle's younger than you. She probably looked at Kyle and thought he was like sexy or something. And because Kyle was gay, she probably didn't mind talking to him like that because she didn't feel like he would be sexually attracted to her. But when you started doing it as an older man, as somebody who has no repertoire with her to have that conversation, why do I have to break down the intricacies of interrelations with women based on age and appropriateness of sexual discussion with you at your age? Why? Why don't you just get it? You could have saved the entire thing. Literally, Katie only talked about it once. She had to. She talked about it because people wanted to know why she wouldn't go on the show with Steve anymore, so she told people. And for you to get this mad about it, that you boom about it for an entire year, attack her for a year, attack her son, attack her husband, I'm sorry, my guy. Whereas in the beginning, I would have said, I'm not going to believe that either side is lying. I'm just going to take what each side is saying and go with that because there's not going to be evidence of this if it just happened in a call while they were alone. As Katie admits, for him to then say, if she doesn't have evidence of it happening, then she's lying about it. That's just, I don't understand how anybody, yet a philosopher or an intellectual, could say that. And he Streisand affected the accusation from Katie to where it is now. That was a literal Streisand effect. All he had to do was either ignore it, apologize, or explain to the community that he didn't. When he said that, she took it the wrong way. And then as long as he stopped doing that and didn't say sexual things like that anymore, nobody would care. But another thing I could say to this is that you've made those types of comments live on your channel to women that were there that you barely knew, and they themselves looked so uncomfortable. They looked like they were about to melt. But the people in the audience of all ages and everything were sitting there thinking about how creepy and gross those statements were. But they kept happening over and over and over again. Now, the reason I'm bringing it up is because today you accuse her of lying about this. And it's just one of those major things that shouldn't be happening. Why can't we all handle it like an adult? Why can't we say, Katie felt uncomfortable, Steve didn't mean for her to feel uncomfortable, and move forward and never care? Because you've attacked her for a year since this happened over this subject. It wasn't over this subject, then why did you bring it up today and then pin it as a lie? When you know it's her opinion, so how can you say it's her opinion, or a lie, if it's her opinion? That she felt that way, that was the way you made her feel. That is her opinion. That is, her statement. It doesn't have to go to this place that it's at now, And for people out there to sit there and say, she's lying about that with Steve. I get you being able to say that in the beginning, but once he admitted that he did say those things to her, how do you say she's lying? Right? You're telling me that if you had your girlfriend, let's say you got a 25-year-old girlfriend and she's in a call with McRae, while it's public, he doesn't say a single thing like that, and then the minute it ends, he doesn't say a single thing like that. He waits until Kyle Curtis goes off of the call and says these things to her. You would not be comfortable with him doing that to your wife, your girlfriend, whoever you're with. The people out there that are like, ugh. You had an argument until you admitted that you did say it to her and that she was taking you out of context or something like that, and then changed it later and morphed your response until today. You've now morphed it so many times, it is completely different than what you originally said about it. And now us other creators that know this have to call you out on it, because if we don't, Sharrell's world is likely to pick up this story, not know this part of the story because you won't tell it to her, you won't be honest about it, when it's one of the main parts of the story, one of the biggest parts of the story, the literal thing that happened before you started attacking her consistently for a year was this event. And I bet you didn't say a damn word about this event to Shirelle. And the sickest thing is that Cheshire, I bet, didn't say a damn thing like about this to Shirelle. But what's even worse, Shirelle, is that after you make your series attacking Katie for him, and not, unless you want to bring up all the points that everybody has against him in it, if you just blindly take him and his database against Katie there, you're going to be, you have a potential for your channel to be used as another tool to obfuscate and confuse and morph and change the original issue that that this conversation happened between him and Katie, and that he attacked her for all this time because of it. I'm UNIRock. Thanks for watching. Oh, do I have to hit more of the chat? Don't get mad at me. I'll hit more of the chat. I don't mind. Let's scroll through the chat, then we're out of here. Yes, another example of him. Whatever the look, there's no reason to share her address, especially to people like the others that run that group, which I'm sure he did. I don't have evidence that he did, but I don't see him sharing it to those other creators and not sharing it to the other members of that group, at least the admins, when those admins are obsessed with her. Yesterday, I showed on Twitter a statement that one of the other admins of the Licking the Crystal Balls group shared, and it is disgusting. It's hypocritical. They literally contradict themselves from the beginning to here. They literally start calling Katie out for stuff that they are doing in this conversation, and it goes to show how obsessed and disgusting these the people in this group are. It's just crazy. You're right, Lucifer, yeah. Well, kick him out. Robin is a Steve troll? Okay, I'll kick her since my members want her kicked. Okay, bye. Gob says, won't be the same as it was, Lucifer. Lucifer Almighty. He was not talking to Satan. I still would hate to see Kyle get it back. Nothing changes my mind that Kyle is a POS for taking all the Patreon donations and not splitting with Bull and Steve. Well, he did pay Bull. He did. He's got evidence that he paid Bull. Now, the issue is they say that Bull didn't get enough money. We don't know that. And do you know how much Bull's supposed to get? Right? How do you? Is there a contract with Bull? Is it written down with Bull? Or is there a clip that says he gets 10% of everything? Why would a producer get 10% of everything? So if this channel makes $2 million one day, Bull's going to get $200,000 of it. That's insane. That's insane. He doesn't deserve $200,000. He's a producer. Whoever creatively and whoever put all of it together and whoever owns the business should be the one that gets the majority of the money, as anyone would. And if they decide to give somebody a bonus above a normal wage, they should be able to do it, right? But they should be the one that gains. If it's a 50-50 and it's on a contract and it's proven, then Steve and Kyle should get it. But if Steve can't prove the 50-50, I'm sorry, Kyle gets it. Now, did he offer Steve 50% of the videos he appeared in? And did him and Steve ever get that drawn out, get that ironed out? Did they completely agree to it? Or was it just something offered by Kyle that they never got to sit down and talk about? Well, guess what? Steve can't even provide any type of evidence that he even sat down and ironed that part out with Kyle. He's been too focused on every other dumb thing about the story. So my point is, Bull does not just get a blanketed 10% for producing. That is stupid. It's crazy. And if it's not on a contract, Kyle's not obligated to give it to him just because he might have said it one day. That's not how business works. It's not how, and you also wouldn't do it either. Don't even tell me that if you made a channel and thought about having somebody be your partner, but yet after a year, they hadn't done shit but show up to shows and do what Steve did. Don't even tell me that if you both didn't sit down and iron it out in a contract that you would honor, some thought process you had. The reason it goes into a contract is because people say things they don't mean, they change their mind, and the contract irons it out into permanence, right? Why would Steve, the adult in the situation, not get the contract so that he could protect him and Bull? To me, after seeing the way Steve lies, after seeing the way he morphs things, after seeing the way he is, Nothing he says gets through my mind now. Back when I didn't know he lied like this, a lot of what he said went through my mind. But now it gets shut the hell out. Kyle also is given that same treatment by me. When Kyle tells me this happened, it doesn't get added to the history or the sequence of events until I see evidence from him too, due to the fact that both have lied, both have made mistakes, and both messed up. But I'll tell you this right now. What is the argument for a person who wants to convince the world that they are owed 50%? Well, it's happening right now. It is literally happening right now with the story on Drama Alert about Rice Gum, another YouTuber, because he got his ex-girlfriend a whole bunch of attention, and because he was going to give her that attention, he wanted to have a contract drawn up with her so that she didn't use him for sex or use him with sex to dupe him into giving her a career, just so she could take off right after she got the career, flip him off, and keep all the money. So he drew up a contract with her, and they both signed it, and now she owes him money. You get me? What if Rice Gum would have never drawn that contract up, never got it signed between him and his ex, and still gotten her the career, got her all the attention, got her famous, right? And then she left. But the contract didn't get signed. She wouldn't have to give Rice Gum a dime. And you would argue, well, if there's no contract, then she doesn't have to give Rice Gum anything. If there's a contract, then she does. The problem I have with the non sequitur followers, they pretend to be skeptical while refusing to apply the same concepts from how they act and feel about contracts in other situations to how they act and feel about contracts in the non sequitur situation. That's my major problem with the non sequitur audience, because they're not skeptical when it comes to this situation. And I'm sorry about skepticism. The weird thing about it is, once you stop being skeptical for certain things, you're just not skeptical anymore until you start being skeptical about everything. But one last little point. If you had a business and you were supposed to get that contract signed with someone and you chose not to, you said, well, what is our terms? Well, how about, you can have 50% for the shows you're on. Steve replies, oh, no, I want 50% of everything. Well, oh, no, that's not going to happen. Well, yes, it is. Oh, no, it's not. Well, yes, it is. What do you got that will legally protect you in case something bad happens? The contract. So what happens when an adult that denies to sign a contract? Well, I'll be damned if there's not a video sitting on Steve McRae's channel where he literally admits that he denied signing a contract. So now when you guys show up on my channel and say, Kyle robbed Steve, like you've been saying for a year, all I do is laugh at you until you provide me the contract that Steve McRae promised the internet 10 months ago. I'm going to keep on laughing. I'm going to keep on laughing. Sorry. See you on the Rock-A-Lot. Heading there now. Thank you for coming by. I enjoy your company, and I'm sorry I haven't been streaming here as much, but we're bringing back the show. Just not every night. Maybe every night, but I don't plan on doing it every night. I like taking a second and getting the content ready for this show. This show, the content will be ready. Rock-A-Lot show, it'll be off the cuff. So if you miss us and you want to come say hi, head to Rock-A-Lot. But if you want those structured shows that have a point, that have a purpose, that are written out, that are thought out beforehand, that is this channel. Thank you. Subscribe to Brainy Beaver. He truly is a skeptic and he's a good guy. And I'll see you on Rock-A-Lot.